party from the inception to now. And I can do the same about the People's National Party. I can tell you about the NDM. I can tell you about the GOP in a US or the Democrats. I can tell you about the Labour Party or the Conservative in England and about three other parties where England have. Because I love politics, I'm interested in the operations of the country. I'm interested in Jamaica moving forward. Yes, Cantidosa, and that is why people like you, Cantidosa, and I can tell you this now, people like you who are willing to learn and soak up information, you may enter 2025 as a comrade. But I guarantee you that once you keep doing your research, as I suspect you are doing, by the time the election is called, you will not vote for the People's National Party. I can put on that bet for you. I can make that bet with you and win. Once you continue to do your research and to soak up the information available, you will not when the time comes. Populist Party, Omalo, Populist Party, then do whatever it is deemed to be popular. It may not be good, but it is popular. And because of that, they are willing to run with it from here so till next week so them look popular. And that is not good. That's not even good if you are running your house, much less a country. If you are running your house, and your idea in the house is to try and make everybody happy at all the time, then your house are going to be broke. But if you are running your house responsibly, then you know that at some time, some people is going to be happy. Why this thing, why? And I understand why TikTok tell me I'm not there. Somebody's going to be happy and somebody's going to be sad. And that is simple fact of how life goes. But we must be with brothers keep and know. So some decisions are for we brother and some are for we. And coming on here, and even if yesterday the news come out from the auditors, the forensic auditors that are dealing with the SSL matter. And as Mr. Green going to talk about bold money, this is what when we say factual information don't matter to these people. Yesterday the auditors spoke. The auditors tell us, listen to me, I don't think say half of this money I did make it to SSL, you know. The auditor, the forensic auditor, the same kind of person when they bring in to investigate Andrew. Yes. Them have a team of them now, not just one. I did one them bring in for Andrew, but now them have a team. And the team say, I don't believe this money. Yes, I believe so too. I don't believe this money actually make it to the investment. But the investigations continue. It needs to come to an end, you know, Omar. But the problem is that cases like these, financial investigations, are normally lengthy investigation because there's a whole heap of chase where you have to make, whole heap of lines where you have to follow. And some of those lines will take you to international places where you need permits to they're not simple. They are not simple investigation. I think somebody said that cases like this normally take up to 5 years to finalize. Financial cases like this takes up to 5 years to finalize. Right? This one has only been 2 years. But one of the problems that Jamaicans face is that Jamaicans love the mix-up. All right, Sheldon, bless up yourself. right? Jamaicans love the mix-up, so they gravitate towards the mix-up, the hullabaloo. They don't like information. They don't like stuff they can benefit from. It is sad but true. They don't like stuff they can benefit. They don't like information. And let me tell you which part that come from. And if you listen to me, that come from decades of indoctrination from the PMP, where they tell them supporters say, the only thing you must care about is your belly. That's why the PMP equate everything will come up. They equate it to food on table. Everything will come up. They equate it to them belly. I remember listening to one of them in a discussion once. I think he was on Reedy platform the day. And him tell us, say, he would have preferred to be in a slavery now, because at least during slavery, the food did free. Yes, at least during slavery, the food did free. I never forget that. I wonder, how the hell can people think like that? And that is why now, when the Prime Minister tell us about the stable economy, then tell us they can't eat. When we tell them about the rape, why can't those? It was said, and we don't tell life on people, you know. That's why now they can tell us that the road can't eat, the economy can't eat, the hospital them can't eat. Because they were taught over the years to equate things to them belly. Unless a food, we don't care about it. So when important matters come up, them can use 30-second clippings and convince them followers. Because that's all they need. I remember it was 3 times they have done it. Roger Clark did it, PJ did it, and Michael did it. When Roger Clark went to the people of Westmoreland, kill about 5 cow and 5 goat, feed and fed the people them all day and turn on the music. Michael did it down in Artist Center, PJ did it in a Clarendon. Bring them, kill goat, kill cow, party scene. Michael did say, people are not Artist Center and what you don't want, nothing Joshua, just play the music. When PJ fed for him, then he tell them, say, I am going to shut down the only source of employment. And then cheer. The Jamaica Labour Party at its last conference, the public session, say we are banning the nice making tool that people normally carry for them. We don't want it. We are going to ban it. You know why they ban it? Because we want, when you come to us, you listen and you learn and you move on. You listen and you learn and you go. It's over here now. Over here now. After the PMP conference, we had a blogger who said, after conference we are going to discuss, and we started a discussion with him after the conference. And then gone to get some information when get from the conference, and I know he can't come back yet. I know he can't come back yet, and the information when get from the conference. But he can't come back all now. Yes, NG. But that's how they work. Them tell you in a noise and confusion. So you don't pick up nothing. But all you know say, boy, me go hear the man talking Wednesday. Me not remember, you know. I will never ever be that blind to the Jamaica Labour Party. Never will I ever be that blind to the Jamaica Labour Party where I could go to an event to hear the leader speak and I leave not hearing a single word what him say. Yeah man, the soup and chicken statement from a young journalist. When you do, just cook some soup and bring them in. So, Jenke people, I think we can look out for it this year. The PMP are going to have a pot of soup and cook at every polling station to bring out their members. Our conference was the best, Sweet Pea. Our conference was a message-driven conference. Message. That means that you come and you leave with something. We have been an extremely responsible government that has spoken to the people over and over. Oh, sorry, my little cheerleader is actually at a game, so I pay some attention. Right? If I mean name Classic, why are you hunting for Classic? Well, I assume you're a comrade, but I don't think the name up there so is Classic, if I can spell Classic. But the name of it so don't look like Classic, so I know mean name Classic. But I assume you're looking for Classic. No. Keep hunting, you will find Classic. No, I am not Classic. I am classical, but I am not Classic. Yes. Now, there's literally a name tag up there, so I don't understand. Yeah, there's literally a name tag up there. Right. But Jenke people, the simple, the truth and the honesty of the whole thing is that you're born labor right from St. Anne. Brilliant. Born labor from Northeast St. Anne. From Northeast St. Anne. We forgot to mention it to you from last night, Omala. Yeah, man. Ghana, the Senate. Right? In Ghana, the Senate. The 3 Senate appointments were very, very, very good, very on point. Right? Delano. And let me say this. Oh, Zeda, see you there. Oh, you saw your opponent now is here comes Comrade Ingram. Your opponent now is Dana Williams' daughter. Dana Williams' daughter is them send down there now to dig up the road. Right? Me say brother Ingram just running a while ago. Comrade Ingram has got an answer. Let me take out the phone to look for again. Ingram, no sir, we don't need people like Ingram. We know she can't win roads. We don't need people like Ingram in the Labour Party. We don't need people. Ingram, we don't need blind supporters in the Labour Party. We need people who shall ride bicycle at the house to house. Right, talking about pandering. But you see, the thing is that they gave her that seat. Not that they think she could win, but they gave it to her to appease her daddy so he would have come back. Right? They gave it to him. They gave it to him to her to appease her daddy. So he would have come back and come bring out him bad man them, come support the party, because they know them need them dance to win. Danet Foster, councillor, big up. Right? So then give her a seat. So they are doing their best to appease all of the dance to bring them back out. But tell him to look and see how the Jamaica Labour Party deal with dance. And we're not afraid to do the same thing to him. Yeah man, Marlon, Delano, and the good doctor. Right, so, and I was about to mention this. I'm sure there's a lot of Labourites who was saying that they would have loved to see a Venetia Phillips added to the Senate. I would love that too, to have Venetia in the Senate. But party dynamics would have tell me, say, not right now, Venetia, not that she can't, she wouldn't be added just now. She wouldn't be added just now. Maybe, hopefully, the next time around, when all the ducks are lined up, she can actually be added. But I think Delano, you're an independent. you're an independent leaning which way? Leaning which way, Omalo? Because, Omalo, listen to me. Listen to me, and I will say this to you. As a Siaga labor right, Omalo, Jamaica, not perfect. This government has not hit every nail upon the head. But we struck more nail than the PMP did in 22 years. Yeah? Let me say it again to you, man. We're not perfect. It is a Siaga labor right. This government, we not hit every nail upon the head, you know. But we have struck more nail than the PMP did in 18 years. Right? So, I don't understand. Well, you could be an independent, you know. I don't mind. I don't mind independent, but you have to be an independent that casts your vote for better when the time comes. So, I don't have a problem with you say being an independent. But as long as when the time comes, all right, son. Say no more. But I think we need Omalo strong independence in a Jamaica. Right? And the problem what we have, Omalo, is that the so-called independents are the ones who sit by and allow only die-hearted to decide who run the country. And that is a problem. Yes, in any country where you go, both parties are going to have them base. And both base can back it out on a day-to-day basis. But it's the independents are the one that people reach out to in order to clip an election, the independent voters. And our set of independent people in a Jamaica, Omalo, are people who think that they are better than going to cast a vote. So the fight always comes down to the base of both parties. Right? So we need a more active, independent voting scene in Jamaica. I've said this before and I will say it again. The base vote for the party. The base vote for the party. The independents vote for the government. And that is the difference, Omalo. The base, me a Labour right. Me is part of the Labour Party base. I vote for the party. But you have the independence people now who can look objectively and they would cast a vote for the government. Is this government doing what I think it should be doing? That is how the independent vote. But we don't have an active independent voting scene in a Jamaica. I don't think. Yeah, man, we know that. So I don't think we have, even the pollsters in Jamaica have not done a good job of capturing the independents. Are the undecided? Are the undecided? They don't have those are the people. Those are the people that is now left up to decide Jamaica's fate. Right? So more people need in this election to get off the fence and get ready if you go cast a vote. While the PMP cast us close to 500,000 jobs in the 90s, the Jamaica Labour Party has added over 150,000 in the last few years. The PMP has no record of job creation, but them have an envious record of job destructions for both the 70s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. A record of job destruction. And that's why I say, I dare any comrade. Me say, who me just say come in? Miss Ingram coming in a while ago. Me say J-Ras. And me say, a next one coming, forget his name. I say Dr. Mario there. And I challenge any of you, any comrade, to come up here and give me a time when the PMP run Jamaica, where Jamaica would have been better off at the end of that period. Now there's always an invitation, Jackson. Always an invitation. The problem is, I don't debate factual information. How this? I do not debate factual information in this day and age. Alec Johnson. I don't remember Alec Johnson, but let me see what Alec Johnson has to say. Alec Johnson, you're gonna give me a people better off for it. Well, Alec Johnson doesn't seem to be connecting, so. At any period in a Jamaica, there's no period where they run Jamaica where we were better off for it since independence. None. So this election is the most consequential election we will ever face. Right? And it is up to the Omalo, it is up to Omalo's voting bloc, the independents, to come off of the fence and vote for the most active government we've ever seen. Now, the Prime Minister over the last couple of months has been on a rampage when it comes to handing out the social houses. So much so that the PMP has now launched a coordinated attack on the social house program. And how do we know? Why do I call it a coordinated effect? Because of how it started. It started a few weeks ago with the contract with the Auditor General speaking about concerns with the program. Then all of a sudden, Gleaner, which is the near 200-year-old institution, who would have knowledge that the government has 2 housing programs, would have run the story and an indigent house program, but try to pass it off as a social house program. That is the second phase of the attack. Then Gleaner come again with the next front page story about delays in handing over houses. And that is why we realize now, and I urge our people, our people in government to start treat the Gleaner like how Donald Trump treats CNN sometimes. Yes. Make them cuss and go and bad. Make them go report us to IAPA. Make them go report us to IAPA. But we have to start calling them out now and say, we will not speak to you. And make people know why. Call them fake news. To them face. Make them go run that by headline. Say the Jamaica Labour Party call them fake news. And so we have to start deal with them. Because that's what they are. So they come now with the second attack on the program. Show us the handing of the difference. Show us the handing of the difference. Somebody said they can translate what Ingram has said to me. Somebody try to translate what Ingram. Show us the handing of the difference. I don't understand what you're saying, Mr. Ingram. The handing of the different, right? But we have to start calling them out for what they are. Fake news. Right? So they enhance it now, and they planted their reporters now. And how we know that? How did I figure out that they plant reporters and give them questions to ask? Because recently, at the Jamaica Labour Party press conference, to highlight the corruption going on at the PMP, the reporter that was given the question to ask was breathing a heavy sigh. What do you want me to show you, Ingram? I don't know what you're asking me to show you. Show you what? Mr. Ingram, what is it you want me to show you? Thank you. Exact. I couldn't. Well, I could not have put it better myself. And that is the plan, Omar. And it was done in the 90s. That's what it was done. The media, Lindos Road and North Street. Lindos Road and North Street, bury the lead story them. Bury them. You know, say, how do you propose we fix that? Are you talking about the media, Candidosa? How do we fix it? Listen, there has to be some level of accountability. There has to be, I don't know. Because why would I say I don't know how to fix it? Because most of these things, we have people in place that we think would put national interests before party, but we don't have that. I know of a newspaper in another jurisdiction in the Caribbean, and just like Gleaner, they have the paper itself have a preference in party. The paper itself have a preference in the party that they support in that country. But also, how do they maintain a balance? The employers of the paper hold them accountable to be balanced in their reporting. Right? So the candidates, it's going to take citizens who believe in putting the country before party, who tell you say the Labour Party is more important than Jamaica and the PMP is more important than Jamaica. Take me in a, no, Ingram, I do not want to take you in any box, sir. Please, no, I do not wish to take you in any box, Mr. Ingram. You're on the wrong platform for that. So candidates, that is it now. If we have places where these people, they are not accounted to the PAJ, because they have also been hijacked by the PMP. What matter you want to discuss? I know, Mr. Ingram, I don't know what you're talking about. Me don't know what you talk. But I am referring to candidates now. So if we have places like Gleaner, whereby the employees could actually be a part of holding them to balance, where they have to balance their reporting. That's a start. Because we have this idea of free press. And I call it an idea because that's what it is. The different houses that were being handed out. All right, let me ask you this, Mr. Ingram, before me decide if I bring it in our box. Making them state media, I don't think is a good idea either, Candidosa, because remember, you know, the problem with that now is that we may have a Jamaica Labour Party now with an Andrew Holness who believes in certain things. But after Andrew Holness, we don't know who will be the leader, and we don't know what kind of leader they are going to get. And I believe the state media is even probably more dangerous than what we have now. So we I wouldn't support the idea of state control media, because now that is really gonna be a propaganda. But as I said, it takes people who have Jamaica's best interest at heart overall, and it would put a dent in it. It takes places like JIS to step up. That keep them there for 18 years. Mr. Ingram, again, I ask you this simple question. Just answer me this question and I will add it to the box and we'll have a discussion. Does the government run 2 social house programs? Just answer me that simple question. No, my dear, yes, we not go back for my word flowers. Definitely not. I'm just trying to get Mr. Ingram to answer a simple question. Does the government run 2 social house programs, Mr. Ingram? It's a simple question, you can answer it, you know. Hold on, my people. Hold on, my people. Let me. Yes. Just answer me that simple question, Ingram, and add you. Does Jamaica government run 2 different housing programs? That's a simple question, you know. Simple question. But in the meantime, let me go with Cantidosa. Yeah. So the problem now, we need people that can look beyond their politics. Like for me, I take myself for example. I have the ability to look beyond my politics. Yes. So if you put me in a position, I can look beyond my political biases to do the job. Right? But we have people now who are unable to do that. Who everything they look at is party first, the party this and the party that. Right? The party this, the party this, and the party that. Now I don't believe in that. Under my watch, you have to separate yourself. We don't have that in our media. We don't have that in who is supposed to be the media watchdog. The Press Association of Jamaica has also been hijacked. Right? And I agree 100% with Omar when he said it is the for-profit media that kept the PNP in power for 18 and a half years. Lindos Road and North Street. Right? And it's the same for-profit media now that is doing its best to tear down the most successful and active government we've had in the last 40 years. Why? How is it that a government that is going around issuing out houses, well-constructed houses, how is it that you find something wrong with a program like that? How is it that you are trying to tear down a program like that gives benefits to the least among us? But yet you cannot show us the alternative program that the PMP had during their time. Show me the housing program that the PMP had during their 18 years. Show me what they did to the so-called... Wait, hold on. I just remember I saw something earlier I needed to bring to the attention of the people. And I'm glad Ingram there. Maybe Ingram can deal with this for me too. I saw where the Mayor Swaby has imposed fees on the application process to keep any event. Where did I send this? I sent it, shared it with somebody. Mayor Swaby has imposed a fee on the application process to put on any event in the KCC. Now, these events, these little drink out and round robin, are poor people events, you know. And the mayor of Kingston has imposed a tax. And then the mayor of Kingston has just imposed a tax and keeping, a fee and keeping event. But I need to find back that article right there. Who they had it? Nationwide had it. Hold on, let me go find it. Let me go find it. Who this?
Entirely new. What is new is the reporting we now have.
Oh, we hear that already. No, not Operation Pride. No, Mr. Ingram, all council cannot do that when the man just literally added today. Come on, Ingram, man. Ingram, me tell you every day, say you just, when you're there when people can challenge you, you look fool, you know. I am telling you of something that was just implemented, and you're telling me that all councils do it. And I'm telling you of something that the mayor just literally signed off on today. You know, realize that your argument don't make sense, Mr. Ingram. You sure say you're fool. Me not take no pleasure in calling a big man like you fool, Ingram, but that you're proving to be stupid. This are no caution or none of the idiot PMP them. When you come yes to me, Ingram, you have to come with information. You have to come with some information where we can literally use. But me I go find which party sign off. Where they?
In the leaked audio to our news center, Swaby uses the word money once, but he uses the phrase gel the thing together and grill up the thing to suggest he has taken deliberate action to help the PMP win in central Kingston and save his own political skin. Our sources say the audio was recorded on December 31, 2024. Here is what the mayor and the chairman of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, Andrew Swaby, was heard saying about his efforts to prevail upon certain named individuals to reward him later for favors he would do for them now. Listen carefully as Mayor Swaby speaks about his deliberate actions.
I have tried in my way to help to gel the thing together. I talk to Shamia, I talk to Shamia's sister, I talk to other people in the constituency. I want even tell us if I may go up this with the sports team, I keep on handling them over 3 dinner. And me and Bull and them and I talk. And in a mile ago, we try to help them. That we can say, boy, if when the time come, we can't, if they don't need me talk to them, we can't talk. Even Christmas, we help them, you know. Even Christmas, we say something to go give them. I mean, do it deliberately so, and I go through the car, I say, me, you want to be in a position for us, then they probably go on that, and we can't talk to them.
So who is this Bull, Mayor Swaby?
I know a Bull.
Is he the reputed Don from Top Road in central Kingston? Mayor Swaby goes on to explain to the man he's speaking with that the reason he has taken deliberate action to help certain people in central Kingston is because he has seen those people act in a certain way when other men gave them money. He then says that both he and Audrey took a deliberate look at how best to help certain individuals in central Kingston.
Me know the role within the play when other man we will really think up. Then they can't have 15 half years in our mind.
Yeah.
So everything me do, that a man can say me talk with me do me help in the Christmas, we go far and wide. You understand me? Because me and artists sit down and we look for it like ourselves. The ABC car. We know we target Central Kingston to win. We know that. And when I look for that who run, we look for say, do you want PMP win? And my backside will know when we have an MP and a Central Kingston. The bar that is going to come closer to me, they have more than one interest. Why do you want Central Kingston?
Mayor Swaby did not identify the Audrey he referred to in the clip. Who is this Audrey, Mayor? And what role does she play in helping you decide how to allocate resources that come through the KCMC? Based on how he mentioned her, it would appear as if that Audrey is known to both himself and the man with whom he was having that conversation on December 31 last year. Nationwide News reported earlier that among the allegations made by former PNP caretaker in central Kingston, Lawrence Rowe, is that a member of Mayor Swaby's administrative staff told him to collect $300,000 cash from the KCMC. Rowe was told that he was at liberty to spend the cash as he saw fit, but that this gift to him was not for public knowledge. The name of that staff member at the KSAMC who communicated that message to Lawrence Rowe on December 17, 2024, Audrey Smith Facey. George Davis for Nationwide News.
That was a
In the
recap.
leaked audio tour.
That was a recap. I am trying to find the one where just today he imposed the fees and the events from the KSAC. I don't know, I think I shared some. I'm gonna find it. But you see, that is the thing, Candidosa. You see, because the persons who can force them to comment on it, like the media or the civic group, they are silent on these matters. Right? Them silent, them not have nothing to say on them thing, right? So he feels that no one can just sit down up in his office and hide and wait until it blow off. But I am glad to hear Showerman Rowe I release liquor. Every time they think if he dead, he release something. Right? Every time they think if he go down there, he release something else. Because as I said, corruption is corruption. It doesn't matter. Corruption no color. Misuse of taxpayers' money is misuse of taxpayers' money. And you can't say you are a civic organization and you condoning the misuse. You condoning the misuse of taxpayers' money. Well, Omar, my take is this, Again, Mr. Ingram. Mr. Ingram. You better you bless up, chaps. You better you follow the rhythm and take away yourself, Mr. Ingram. Your argument now go find no favor yourself. Okay? Follow the rhythm, Mr. Ingram, and take away yourself. I don't think it's money laundering, Omar. It is plain and simple theft, misappropriation of public funds. And this is not the first. And as you can hear, in call the Dan name, where them give for them too. But he's not the only one, because we also now know that the Spanish Town municipality was giving their Dan over there $1 million every month. We see now again where this man was giving $1 million to a MP caretaker. Remember, only elected persons are allowed to spend taxpayers' money. You have to be elected. So caretakers are not recognized. But yet you are giving $1 million to a councillor to share with the caretaker. And the fact, Omar, again, the media and the civic group don't believe that these are nothing. In fact, I see a read article where Gleaner, the newspaper, come out and say them accept Swaby's response. Them accept what Swaby said. I believe there have been, you see, Omar, the PMP know that they cannot win an election. They cannot win a free and fair election. They cannot win an election that is free and fair. They know that. You have to have some Dans. You think say if Mark Gordon get rid of the Dans them up in constituency, he can win? You think say if Angela Brownberg get rid of the Dans them out of constituency, then can win? You think if Philip Parwell get rid of the Dans, then can win? No. They know that. So that is why now they are going back for people like Daniel and King bringing them back to the political process, promising them big contracts. You know, here, how much they said the NIR was at the end of last year? 5.6 billion. 5.6 billion US dollars is where our NIR stood at the end of 2024. So when them bringing back these heavy-handed dons, all they are doing is promising them a piece of that. Same to protecting JA is only when it is alleged that a Labour Party member commit this thing, it is called corruption. Under the PMP, it is okay. It is okay. The civic groups don't care. Right? And what needs to happen now is that they need, unless somebody start calling them out, unless somebody start calling them out, it won't change. It will not change where they feel that they have to come. Mark Golden can simple lock up a Hope Road and not come out and not say nothing. And nobody, not one member of the media, is gonna ask him. Not one member. Right? But thanks to Showerman Rowe, they will not forget because Showerman Rowe have more voice note and more text to release. Showerman Rowe have more voice note and more text to release. And them a come, as they say, drip, drip, drip. Liquor by liquor, them a come. Right? So it's we have to go pile them up so high and make the shit we are come out of them so stink that even the people like the Gleaner, RJR, National Integrity Action, Jamaican for Justice, Jamaica Meter for Accountability, all of them people there, Carol Narcis, all of them. Even though them have them head up Mark Golden ass, we have to make Mark Golden shit so stink that them can no longer ignore it. Because them tolerance for PMP shit is so high. Their tolerance for PMP shit is so high that right now them are living a it and them now smell it. Right now they are literally living in it and them now smell it because that's how high them tolerance is. Any day I ever find myself that embedded into the Jamaica Labour Party, where I cannot find.
In nationwide news at this hour, government plans to spend approximately $1.3 trillion for the upcoming fiscal year.
Finance Minister Favour Williams tabled the estimates of expenditure for financial year 2025-2026 in Parliament today.
Today, I am tabling a budget for fiscal year 25-26 that is $1.3 trillion.
Opposition leader Mark Golding says contrary to reports, there's no scandal at the KSAMC.
There's absolutely nothing untoward that we're aware of. This is a much ado about nothing and an attempt to create a scandal where none exists.
And the opposition is calling on the government to release the forensic report into the billion-dollar fraud at Stocks and Securities Limited.
In news from the rest of the world, Antigua and Barbuda insists Harvard University fulfills its pledge on slavery compensation.
Trump threatens new tariffs on U.S.'s trade partners.
In headline sports, former Excelsior High School star runs the fastest time in the world this year at a meet in France today.
And later in our broadcast Thursday, February 12, 2025, in our cover story at 5:35, the estimates of expenditure for the 2025-2026 fiscal year was tabled by Finance Minister Favour Williams in the House of Representatives on Thursday. They provide a breakdown of the government's projected spending, outlining allocations across various ministries and agencies. You'll hear more.
From 6 to 9, we'll broadcast live from Tivoli Gardens High School in West Kingston for the constituency's youth forum. You'll hear presentations from several young people from the constituency, as well as remarks from Education Minister Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon and West Kingston MP Desmond McKenzie.
And at 8, it's Jamaican Dads with Dennis Brooks, Garth Williams, Marlon Campbell, and Floyd Green.
All these and more as we take you home on air, on your mobile, Nationwide 90 FM, nationwideradiojm.com, and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. This Thursday afternoon, Thursday, February 13, 2025.
So you see that now, with a straight face of all the things we have been hearing, Mark Golden is telling us nothing to see here, much to do about nothing. That is what they think of taxpayers' money. Much to do about nothing. Much to do about nothing. That is taxpayers' money for you.
$3 trillion for the upcoming fiscal year. Minister of Finance Favour Williams tabled the estimates of expenditure for financial year 2025-2026 in the House of Representatives on Thursday. The minister says the budget represents a commitment to improve Jamaica despite the repeated shocks which have rocked the island. Siobhan Campbell tells us more.
Minister Favour Williams highlighted that the budget has more than doubled in the 10 years that Prime Minister Andrew Holness had led the government.
Madam Speaker, this budget is the 10th budget being laid in Parliament by this Andrew Holness led. Having won the general election on Thursday, February 25, 2016, at that time, the budget that was tabled and approved for fiscal year 2016-2017 was approximately $580 billion. Today, I am tabling a budget for fiscal year 25-26 that is $1.3 trillion.
The Finance Minister says this is a testament to the policies of the Jamaica Labour Party.
Speaker, this growth in our budget over the 10 years demonstrates the underlying strength of the policies of this Andrew Holness-led government, starting with the implementation of the shift away from direct towards indirect taxation. The first manifestation of that policy was the increase in the PAYE threshold from 792,800 to 1,272,000 in 2016. And then again in April 2017, the threshold moved to $1.5 million in the famous phase in that began.
She says these policies have enabled the government to continue to run trillion-dollar budgets despite sustained weather-related shocks for the current fiscal year.
In considering the numerous shocks that our Jamaican economy has endured over the past 10 years, including a global pandemic and the extreme weather event, my word for the Jamaican economy and the Jamaican people continue to be resilient.
Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
And the Ministries of Health and Education are set to receive a significant boost for the upcoming fiscal year as part of the government's estimates of expenditure. That's according to the estimates of expenditure tabled in the House of Representatives on Thursday. However, it shows an overall reduction in the size of the budget compared to the revised estimates of expenditure for the current financial year. Joyce Michael has that story.
The government anticipates a total expenditure of $1,260 billion for fiscal year 2025 to 2026. It's nearly $200 billion more than the initial estimates of expenditure tabled for the current financial year. However, it's almost $51 billion less than the third supplementary estimates tabled in January. During this fiscal year, the government has benefited from nearly $75 billion in additional revenue thanks to the securitization of revenues from the Norman Manley International Airport. It's a windfall that funded much of the road rehabilitation works and other miscellaneous expenditures. This windfall will be noticeably absent from the upcoming estimates. However, the 2025-2026 fiscal year will see recurrent expenditure of just under $1.2 trillion. This is compared to $1.3 trillion for the current year, inclusive of 3 supplementary estimates. For capital expenditure, the government intends to spend just over $62.5 billion. It's an increase of just under $1 billion. On the recurrent side, the Ministry of Finance continues to take home the lion's share of revenue of $486 billion. This is down from $607 billion expended in the current fiscal year. Education follows at $183 billion. However, that's a reduction from the $199 billion spent this year. Health is the next major recipient at $156 billion. It also represents an increase of just over $6 billion compared to the current fiscal year. National security rounds out the top 3 at just short of $155 billion. It too has seen a slight reduction in its budget compared to the third supplementary estimates of just over $4 billion. In terms of capital expenditure, the Ministries of Education and Health have received significant boosts. Education moved from $1.5 billion, as represented in the third supplementary estimate, to $4.2 billion for the upcoming fiscal year. The nearly $3 billion in additional infrastructural projects suggests a strategic push. Health similarly has seen an increase of nearly $3 billion, moving from just under $7 billion for the current year to over $10 billion for 2025 to 2026. However, the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation retains the largest portion of capital expenditure at just over $30 billion as the government's main implementer of major infrastructural projects. Shalois Michael for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, opposition spokesman on finance Julian Robinson says the budget for financial year 2025-2026 must realistically address the growing concerns of the Jamaican people.
So we are within the context of a recession. We are within the context of close to 50% of Jamaicans identifying themselves as being food insecure. 55%, who cannot eat enough. The calculation of what the nutritional supplement per day, 55% of Jamaicans say they cannot afford to eat properly. We are within the context, happily, low unemployment, but 700,000 Jamaicans who are outside the workforce, who have opted out, and where there's a significant gap between the needs of employers and the willingness of those who want to work.
Mr. Robinson says the new budget must bring meaningful improvements for the country.
So, Madam Speaker, with the presentation of these estimates, the country is at a critical trajectory. The estimates, while tabled, and the details will come in the presentation, must address the issues of the anemic growth that the country is currently experiencing. They also must address our inability to spend our capital budget. For the fiscal year ending, $19 billion unspent. Last fiscal year, it was $11 billion. There's a direct correlation between expanding our capital budget and economic growth.
Julian Robinson, opposition
Yes, cut the
spokesman
red tape.
on finance.
Much ado about nothing. That's how opposition leader Mark Golding has described media reports regarding allegations of misuse of public funds at the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC.
The mayor has made it clear what exactly the funds that were at his disposal and how they were deployed, and they were deployed in 3 divisions which did not have a councillor. The KSAC doesn't administer cash. All political representatives seek to assist themselves and their other colleagues at Christmas time and so on by raising funds to help with a little Christmas work and supplement what's available through the other channels that exist. So there's absolutely nothing untoward that we're aware of. This is a much ado about nothing and an attempt to create a scandal where none exists.
Mayor of Kingston, Andrew Swaby, and the PNP have been under pressure since news of the alleged misuse of funds was first made public by Nationwide News on January 29. The allegations are based on WhatsApp messages and voice notes between then PNP caretaker for Central Kingston, Lawrence Rowe, and the party's General Secretary, Dr. Dayton Campbell. Among the allegations made by Mr. Rowe is that a member of Mayor Swaby's administrative staff told him to collect $300,000 cash from the KSAMC. Mayor Swaby responded to the allegations in a statement on January 31. He further stated that the funds distributed to PNP political representatives last December were privately raised. According to Mr. Golding, the allegations are part of a scheme to distract the Jamaican people from ongoing issues impacting the Wholeness administration.
If any investigative agency wants to investigate, please do, and we will support that investigation. We have intention of supporting whatever investigation may come up. This is just a distraction because of what's happening elsewhere, including the illicit enrichment investigations of the Prime Minister, which are unresolved, and the other 7 MPs who are the subject of illicit enrichment investigations, and which we want to have those reports come to Parliament so we know what's happening. And we want to know what's happening in relation to the Financial Investigations Division investigation of the Prime Minister's affairs and Tax Administration Jamaica's investigation of his tax affairs, which were matters arising from the Integrity Commission's report on the Prime Minister's situation with his declarations which cannot be certified or no.
Mark Golding, opposition leader. He was speaking at a PNP press conference on Thursday.
And opposition spokesman on finance Julian Robinson is calling on the government to release the forensic report on the investigations into the billion-dollar fraud which occurred at Collapsed Brokerage House Stocks and Securities Limited. Mr. Robinson was speaking at a media conference on Thursday held by the PNP following the opening of Parliament.
I'm calling for 2 things. 1, for the government to release that forensic report in its totality. Not to continue this exercise of picking and choosing sections of the report and sending it to specific media houses, but to put the entire report on the table so that all Jamaicans can see what took place. That's the first thing.
Sprint legend Usain Bolt is one of several Jamaicans who lost billions of dollars in a fraud discovered at the private entity in January 2023. He was allegedly defrauded $950 million. Former SSL client relations manager Jeanan Panton is the sole individual charged in the case. It's understood a high-level probe, facilitated by international forensic investigators, found that a substantial portion of Usain Bolt's reported principal investment was stolen before it ever reached an account at SSL. In a recent interview, Bolt says it's the government that holds the key to him being reimbursed his investment. Mr. Robinson is calling on the government to provide the latest update on the investigation.
The government must give us an update. What is the status of the investigations? We know that a file was provided to the DPP. We don't know what the status of that is. That file has been there for months. We don't know where that is. And we need to remember, Mr. Bolt is one of hundreds of persons who were defrauded in SSL. So he has a right to raise these questions. These are the same questions that not so well-known persons who were defrauded are also raising. And the response cannot be to chastise him for doing so. He has been extremely responsible and restrained in not going public internationally with these issues.
Julian Robinson, opposition spokesman on finance. You're listening to Nationwide News at 5. More news after these.
You see, when we talk about these people, I said this all the while that if it was left up to me, I would capture each member of the PNP and carry them go over Green Bay for a tour, right? Even in the face of the blatant corruption and fraud, Mark Golding was allowed to stand in front of the camera and say, "Oh, sure, nothing now go on there, something now." And there was no pushback. There was no pushback. There was nobody said, "Answer these questions." There was no pushback. So that is why they feel that they're entitled to Jamaica and they have a right to do anything they want, because guess what? Nobody now question them.
Rubbishing the call by opposition leader Mark Golding for a referendum to decide whether Portmore becomes Jamaica's 15th parish or not. Mr. Golding made the call in Parliament on Tuesday as the bill was passed. The JLP held a media briefing at the Houses of Parliament on Thursday. Ahiri Stewart has that story.
Opposition leader Mark Golding says the decision on Portmore's status as a parish should be left to the people of Jamaica to decide. However, according to the JLP, Jamaicans have already made it clear that they wanted to receive parish status. Member of Parliament for South East St. Catherine Robert Miller says numerous consultation sessions were held in Portmore prior to the tabling of the bill in Parliament.
The Joint Select Committee was had, in which members from the opposition were members of Joint Select Committee. Submissions were asked. Persons from Portmore was extended, and also myself and MP Terrelong, we had consultation in our constituency with majority of the citizen associations. We had a joint select consultation together at the Art Academy. Even after the local government election, the Prime Minister came to Portmore and had consultation, around 3 different consultations, and one was had at the Portmore Art Academy. They are disingenuous, and I asked the PMP a question: why they were not strident when they imposed the tax on the residents of Portmore, as though they are strident not to have Portmore to be the 15th parish.
PNP councillors made their displeasure at the government's passing of the bill clear during the council meeting at the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation on Thursday. The councillors forced an adjournment to the meeting after Greater Portmore North Councillor Gary Nicholson echoed the opposition leader's sentiments for a referendum. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie cited this move by the councillors as proof of the opposition's lack of respect for local government.
It is the intention of the PMP to use every means as a distraction. All that is happening now, it is a distraction. What took place in St. Catherine this morning at the Municipal Corporation is an example of the level of disrespect and disregard that the PNP have for local...
Sorry, my people, I have to take this. This is she who must... Sorry, my people. I must bring my broadcast to an abrupt end. Politics and sports. Sorry, I have to tag in earlier than my plan, but she who must always be answered need to have a conversation. So I have to go speak to the little one. My apologies, everybody. I'll join you back in a little.